Hey YouTube, this is Ben Potter, and today I want to do a demonstration of this little pedal right here. This is this one's mine, or T1M Mini Fixed Expression Pedal, or MFE as I might refer to it throughout the video. And what this pedal is designed to do is it's designed to plug into an expression pedal jack on any pedal that has an input for an expression pedal, and switch between your min setting and your max setting. So unlike a typical expression pedal, which would be something like this here that you see on my Pod HD500, you have your min setting and your max setting, and then you can kind of sweep in between to all the settings that are in between. With this, you're just switching in between your min and your max. So if you use your expression pedal for things like volume and you want to do swells with it, or if you use it for a wah or something where you want to kind of hit all the parameters in between your min and your max setting, this might not be for you. But there are several really cool applications that you can use this for. I'm going to be talking about it specifically with the Pod HD500. A lot of what I'm going to discuss today could also be used on one of the Line 6 M series effects, either the M5, the M9, or the M13. And you might be able to take some of this and apply it to a myriad of other pedals that have an expression input as well. So today what I want to do is just show you some practical applications that I've thought that you could use this for with the Line 6 HD500. And I'm going to show you how to set up the HD500 to get it to work with the pedal the way that you might want it to. And so hopefully either you'll see some ideas of how I'm using this and you'll want to go and try them yourself, or if you think of another application that you could use this pedal for, hopefully I'll be able to give you the background knowledge so that when you go to set it up yourself, you kind of know how to get into the settings and set up the pod to work the way you want it to. So I'm going to go ahead and set the camera on the screen of the Pod HD500 so you can see exactly what I'm doing. Because the point of this demonstration isn't necessarily to talk about tones, I'm not going to, normally I would run my pod USB into my computer and record my guitar's audio straight with a DAW. But today I'm just going to let the camera pick up the sound of the guitar from the room. I'm running my pod into a set of M Audio studio monitors. So I'm just going to let the camera pick up that sound. So anyway, let me go ahead and reset the camera, and I will get into some of the ways that you can use the T1M Mini Fixed Expression Pedal. Okay, so the first thing that I want to show you is how to set up the MFE to do what I am currently mostly using it to do, and that is in all of my patches, I'm using it to basically take my amp model and turn it into a 2-channel amp. And the way I'm doing that is I'm having the MFE adjust the drive and the volume of my amp so that when the MFE is off or in its min position, I have a clean tone, and then when I kick it on, it turns up the gain and turns back the volume so I can keep a kind of a unity volume between my clean sound and my dirty sound, and I'm getting kind of a crunch tone from the amp. So with any effect or amp block that you want to assign parameters to be controlled by the MFE, what you're going to do is you're going to just move your arrow over whatever you want to adjust. So I'm going to adjust the amp block, and then you're going to double press the move button, and that pulls up the controller assign menu. And notice if I turn number 1, I can adjust what parameter I want to assign to a controller. And expression 2 is telling me what controller is going to control that parameter. So right now I have my drive set to be controlled by expression pedal 2, which is where the MFE is plugged into on the pod. And notice that my min drive is at 20% and my max drive is at 80%. So those are the two. I'm going to be switching from a 20% drive, which is my clean tone, to an 80% drive, which is my crunch tone. I can scroll through. Notice that my bass is not being controlled by anything, mid, treble. So I'm not re-EQing the amp, although I could. So you could actually set this to completely not only switch from a clean tone to a drive tone, but you could have it completely re-EQ your amp as well. And then as I switch over to the last parameter by volume, my min volume is at 82, my max volume is at 54. So notice that your min and your max, yet your min can be higher than your max. So the reason I have it set that way is with the clean tone, I need to turn up the volume on the amp, and then with the drive tone, I'm turning down the volume on the amp so that my clean tone and my drive tone are the same. So if I hit view to go back to that view, and if I double press enter, there it shows the settings that my amp are set to. And as I push the mini fix expression pedal, that's my clean setting there. So the drive is at about 20%. The volume is at 82%. And then as I push the MFE on, notice the drive and the volume knobs change to the dirty setting. So let me just demonstrate the tone. I'm using my Epiphone Les Paul 100. Here's the clean tone. And here is the drive tone. Back to the clean. Alright, so, and the way that I knew what percentage to set my drive at and what percentage to set my volume at is when I was creating the patch, once I got all the knobs kind of where I wanted them, on the big knobs over on the side of the screen that you're looking at now on the pod, if I kind of move the drive knob here, you can see it briefly shows you underneath the knob where it says DRV right now. If I bump the knob, it's just going to briefly show me what percentage it's at. So there it showed me it was at 20%. So that's the percentage that I used when I went into the controller assign menu. So the next thing, let me go back to the drive sound here a little bit. The next thing that I want to show you is how to set the mini fix expression pedal to just be a volume boost pedal. So if you want to just have it so that the MFE just increases your volume a little bit, so that you're going from kind of your main tone up to for a solo boost or something like that, and you just want to get a solo boost, you can do that as well. So again, I'm going to do this using the amp block. So I'm going to, as the cursor's over the amp block, I'm just going to double push move. And for the volume, I'm going to actually set my min volume down to 54 where my max was. And then I'm going to set my max volume, go up to about 75. And then I'm going to come back to my drive and I'm going to set it so that it's not being controlled by anything. So here's my drive tone. So here's the drive tone with the volume at 54 where it was before. And then as I push on the MFE, it's just going to turn up that volume. And you can use that for a solo boost or something. And you can adjust the volume levels, that 80 or wherever I just set that was at 75. Yeah, at 75 that might have been a little bit loud. So maybe I want to dial it back to 68 and try that. So you can kind of play with it and get it where you want it. A lot of it's just kind of trial and error type thing. So that's another way that you could use the MFE. Another application that I've kind of thought of that you could use this for, I'm going to go back and set the control off for the volume. Another thing that you could use this for is over here, I have a dotted eighth delay. And typically I use that delay as I kind of keep the mix level pretty high on it so that the delay kind of falls as part of the riff. The repeats kind of are as loud as what I'm playing, so the delay repeats kind of become a part of the riff. But sometimes you might want your delay to be more in the background. So it's kind of more just kind of filling in space rather than being a part of your riff. So rather than having to create a separate patch for that, or even use another effect block to have another delay effect in there, you can use the MFE to control your delay mix. So now that my cursor's over my delay, I'm going to double press move. And I'm going to turn the parameter to where it says mix. And my min is at 60, and that's typically where I keep it. That's kind of that hot repeat level. So I'm going to take the max value, and yeah, let's set it around 31. And I'm going to set the controller to expression pedal 2. So right now with the MFE off, I have that kind of that's at the 60%, and then as I hit the MFE on, it's going to go down to the 31%. So you can hear those repeats are a lot softer. So if I want to do something like okay, it kind of fills in space a little bit more rather than being a part of the riff, and I might actually turn that up. Let's try it more at like a 40. So you kind of hear that delay is kind of more in the background, just filling in space, and then I can turn the MFE off, and now I'm back to that. And have kind of that higher mix level. So that's another way. The last way that I'm going to show you, and again, there's tons of other ways that you can use this. This is just kind of supposed to be just an overview of some ways that you can use this. Again, I'm going to go and set that off. I thought I had, I guess I don't have. I'm going to put a tube screamer here, and I'm going to set my drive kind of low, and I'm going to go back and use a kind of a clean tone here on the amp. Okay, so here's my clean. Here's the tube screamer. So it's just a really light overdrive there. And I'm actually going to go in drop the output just a little bit. So if I wanted to use the tube screamer, but let's say I wanted to have two different gain stages with the tube screamer. Let's say I wanted to have kind of a light crunch tone like I have now, and then I wanted more of a lead tone from the tube screamer as well. Again, rather than having to use two effect blocks and have, you know, two tube screamers built into this patch, I can use just the one, double press move, and go to the drive of the tube screamer. And my min, I'm going to set, what did I have that set at? It's at 15, so I'm going to set my min to 15. And my max, let's do that at about 65. And then controller, I'm going to set to expression pedal 2. So here is kind of my crunch. That's my gain at 15. And then if I push the MFE, now I'm at gain of 65. So those are 4 ways that I've thought of that you could use the MFE with the Pod HD500 or the HD500X like I have. Again, there are countless other ways that you could use this, so hopefully either you've seen an idea here that you like, that you want to use on your own, or you've at least kind of seen how this pedal works in conjunction with the HD500, how to set up the HD500 to talk to the pedal to get it to do what you want it to do. And you're going to be able to come up with some ways that would be useful for you to be able to use this. So again, if you're building a pedal board, I really encourage you to go to This One's Mine's website and just look in their store and see what they have. They have all kinds of things that you can use to just make your pedal board function a little bit better. And a lot of it is built really, really small and compact, so you can fit it anywhere on your board. So thanks for watching. Hope I've given you some good ideas. Have a great day.